Hello, Ms. So here. In this, we're going to look at volume of different 3D shapes. Alright, so let's look at definition of what volume is. So volume is going to be the amount of space object occupies. So there's going to be two generic formulas, and what formula is going to be based on is the bases, or how many bases the object has. So if you're looking at a 3D object with two bases, the formula is going to be the volume is equal to big B times. You might remember from surface area that H is going to be our height. Alright, or it's going to be that distance between two bases, and you might remember that our big B is going to be the area of our base. So we don't necessarily know what shape our base is going to be, so that's why it's big B, because then that covers any different areas. The next one is going to be with one base. If it's one base, our volume is going to be 1/3 big B times H. B is still just the area of our base, and H is still just the height or the distance between. Okay, so let's look at specific 3D objects. So here we have a prism. So looking at the volume formula, we see that we have bases. So we're going to use our two base formula. So that is just our volume is equal to the area of our base times our height. So let's look at one example here. So we knew that our volume is going to equal the area of our base times our height. The height is just the distance between our two bases, so our height is actually going to be this 22 centimeters here. So now we have to find the area of our base. We have as our base. So we know that the area of a triangle is going to be 1/2 times our height. Okay? But we don't know what our height is, okay? So we're going to have to use the Pythagorean Theorem and pull that triangle over here. We need half of that here, which is going to be 9.5. We have that our hypotenuse is going to be 18, and we're looking for to make sure that it's perpendicular to our base of 19. So then we can use Pythagorean Theorem. So we have h squared plus 9 squared is equal to 18 squared. And in the end, when you work that all out, our h is going to equal 15.289. Now that we have the height, we can go ahead and plug back in. So we have 1/2. Remember, our base and our height has to be perpendicular. So our base is going to be 19, and we just found the height of 15.289. From there, plug that into the calculator and get 145.246. Now that we got big B and we know what H is, we can get into our 145.246 times 22 centimeters, and in the end that's going to be approximately 3,105.4 meters cubed. Alright, I'm going to leave this second example here for you to do on your own. Let's look at our cylinder now. Our cylinder, still, we have two bases, okay, so we can look at that volume is equal to area base times height. However, We always know for a cylinder that the bases are going to be circles. So we can go ahead and instead of doing our big, we can just write in area of a circle. So that's going to be pi r squared h. That h is just coming from the volume formula. Alright, so let's this example. We know our volume is equal to pi r squared h. So we just have to plug in the information. So r here, yes. So that is going to be 4.5. And our height again is that distance between the two bases, which here is 8.5. Calculator with or without the pi. If you did it without the pi, you should have gotten 102.25 pi centimeters cubed. Or if you did do it with the pi, you should have gotten, we're just kidding. If you wanted to keep it as a fraction, that's going to be 1,377 pi over 8 centimeters cubed. Either way. So that's going to be the two 3D shapes you're going to see with two bases. We have our prism and our cylinder. So let's look at those shapes with only one base. Looking at a pyramid here, you see we only have one base. So our volume is going to be 1/3 the area base times height. Okay. So our base here is going to be this rectangle. So our big B is going to be the area of a rectangle, which is just base times height, which is equal to 9 times 6, which is going to be 54. And we have our height here as 9. So now just go ahead and put into our volume formula of 1/3 area times height, which is going to be 1/3 times 54 times 9, which is just going to be 162 miles cubed. The next one you're going to see is a coner, and just like with that cylinder, up here the pyramid we had a big B because we know what shape the bottom of our pyramid is going to be. For a cone, we know that is a circle. So writing a big B for the area of our base, we can just fill of a circle. So it's going to be the volume is equal to 1/3 pi squared h. So let's look at this example. So we need our height, which we have is 11, and we need our radius, which we have is 2. So we have all the, we don't have to solve for anything. So we have our volume is 1/3 pi r h. Now we have to just fill in our information. So we have ours 2, which is going to be 2 squared times 11. And you can either leave it as a fraction for 44 pi over 3 kilometers cubed, or you can put it into a decimal for 14.667 pi kilometers cubed. Alright, and the last one we have is a sphere. So this is a special case because it doesn't have bases. So it has its own formula for volume, and that is going to be 4 pi r cubed. So let's look. We have that the diameter here is 22, but we need our radius. So we know that the radius is going to be half of our diameter. So our radius is equal to 11. And now we have all the information. So we have our volume is equal to 4/3 pi r cubed. We can just plug in the information, 4/3 pi times 11 cubed. And again, you can as a fraction and get 5,320 all over 3 yards cubed, or you can put it as a decimal and get 1,774.667 pi cubed. Alright, that's the end of our volume video. I left some extra examples if you want to go back and try those. Anyways, thanks for watching.